HarperCollins presents Northern Lights, The Definitive Guide to Auroras. Written and read by Tom Kerss. There is infinite suggestion in this phenomenon, and in that lies its charm. The suggestion of life, form, colour and movement never less than evanescent, mysterious, no reality. It is the language of mystic signs and portents, the inspiration of the gods, wholly spiritual, divine signalling, remindful of superstition, provocative of imagination. I wanted to begin with a quote from the diary of Captain Robert Falcon Scott, written on the 21st of May, 1911, almost 11 months into his ill-fated British Antarctic expedition. Captain Scott is remarking on an extraordinary display of the Aurora Australis, the southern lights, during which he saw flushes of red appearing alongside the typical green with which he was familiar. With these words taken in isolation, it seems it must have been quite a sight, because Scott, himself no stranger to the lights, composed his account with remarkably romantic language. In fact, he was overwhelmed not once, but often, and he seemed to find continuous inspiration from the displays he witnessed above the frozen wastes of the Antarctic pack ice. A month later, at midwinter, Scott wrote, "It is impossible to witness such a beautiful phenomenon without a sense of awe. And yet this sentiment is not inspired by its brilliance, but rather by its delicacy in light and colour, its transparency, and above all, by its tremulous evanescence of form." He further opined on its subtlety and spiritual suggestion, illustrating its character as serenely confident yet restlessly mobile. His words are a feast for the imagination and do real justice to something that is very difficult to describe. Being a lesser writer, the most I can add is that seeing a bright and colourful auroral display is like seeing something taken from a dream made real in front of your eyes. There's no adequate substitute to witnessing it yourself. Whether it's the first time or one of many times, you too will be bound by the same spell that compelled Scott to pen these accounts. Fortunately, you don't need to venture to the harshest continent on Earth to experience this phenomenon. The Northern Hemisphere, where most of us live, offers myriad and considerably more accessible climes from which the Northern Lights, no different from or less spectacular than Scott's Southern Lights, are widely visible at certain times of the year. Several million people live within the Arctic Circle, where the Northern Lights are simply a part of the nightlife. Others are sufficiently far north to witness them during highly active periods, although they may simply not know when to look. Most of us, however, are too far from the Arctic and must plan a trip north, a kind of polar expedition of our own. The purpose of this book is to give you a complete understanding of the Northern Lights. This includes their historical and mythological context, our modern scientific explanations of their cause and nature, and a comprehensive guide to forecasting, stalking, and photographing auroras yourself. With the aid of the tools and tips discussed in these latter chapters, you will be able to comfortably sidestep the world of aurora tourism and take the chase into your own hands. I hope that your first or next sighting of the Northern Lights is not far away, and that this guide will help you make the most of it. No matter how remote or blisteringly cold it may get, the reward is among the most magical experiences available anywhere on the planet. It's well worth the adventure. Chapter 1. History of the Northern Lights.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?